We know that Disney lies about their fucking budgets. We know Disney lies about everything. We know these people lie because they do it fucking constantly.
All the time.
Over and over and over again, especially when it comes to what they spend on their movies. Whether it's what they spent on something that turns out to be a massive flop and failure, or whether it's what they spent on a movie that goes on to make over $1 billion. They're always going to fib about their budgets because they always want the perception to look better than the actual fucking reality. And once again, when you make movies or TV shows in the UK, this is what we end up seeing. We get it proven over and over again that Disney lies. Do you remember Deadpool and Wolverine, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what they told us the budget was for Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
Well, at the time, they told us that it was $200 million and that they spent $100 million marketing on the movie.
Yes. Okay.
So you're thinking, man, that thing, I mean, what did that go on to make? 1.3 billion or something at the box office? Did very, very well at the box office for Marvel. You're thinking, well, that's a pretty chunk of change they took home there. You know, it had a lot of failures and stuff, but that's a big hit for them. And obviously, $1.3 billion, nothing to scoff at. But it feels a little bit different when instead of spending $200 million on the production budget, you spend, I don't know, over $500 million. But that's where we're at when it comes to Disney. That's how much they will fucking lie. Deadpool and Wolverine budget revealed to be much higher than previously thought.
What the freak? I haven't seen this.
Thanks to the British government's public records, we now have a more accurate accounting of the Deadpool and Wolverine budget, and it's massive, even for Marvel, which has become known for spending money like a drunken sailor. Now, the reason we know this, sometimes we get it from Forbes, like for Andor, we're going to talk about in a second, too. We got that from Forbes. This one, it's actually from the Standard in the UK. And the whole premise of this article is that a lot of people are upset that the UK government was sending 61 million pounds directly to the pocket of Disney as tax rebates when they feel like there's a lot of other better things that could be done with those tax dollars, right? That's where this article's premise is coming from. But when you just get down to the fucking numbers, look at this. A piece by the London Standard reveals the actual numbers based on the UK tax fines through which Disney claimed their rebate for filming in the country. The production cost for Deadpool and Wolverine totaled £418.1 million, which is almost $550 million.
That's not marketing or anything either, right?
That's not including marketing, which they told us was 100 million. You want to guess that? You want to think they were honest about that? Or do we want to guess they probably fucking lied about that shit?
Yeah.
Probably.
Holy, did they even make any money off this film?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? So let's factor these things in. We do know that they spent $550 million making the movie. Because they made it in the UK, they were eligible for 61 million pounds, which if you do the conversions, about $80 million in rebates, right? So total spend on this movie is probably around $470 million. They told us that they spent $100 million on marketing. So that would mean you're at $570 million, almost $600 million. I think that marketing number is probably pretty low. Let's just round up and say $600 million. If that's accurate, you factor in the box office splits, they may have made a little money on it.
That's insane.
It's insane. And what's even more insane is that this is just for Deadpool and Wolverine. Which, if you watch that movie, yeah, you got some cameos, you do have some big CGI stuff, but overall, does that feel like a movie that should have cost that? Not really.
Not even close.
Not even close. So think of what this means for Avengers fucking Doomsday. If they spent $550 million on this, throwing some cameos in there, I'm sure it may cost some money to get some of those people there. Now think about what it's going to cost with the cast that you have to pay for Avengers Doomsday. Just like Robert Downey Jr. and the directors alone, the amount of money that you're into that for. Now, I said that I thought easily they were going to spend $500 million on Avengers Doomsday. Now, bro, that might be close to $700 or $800 million.
There's no way that thing makes money.
I mean, what the actual fuck? What?
There's no way.
This shit is not sustainable, bro.
No, they've got to be banking on streaming sales, like people buying the movie after the fact, or like you would think that they might be thinking about merchandise, but nobody buys their merch anymore. I thought they went insane with the Indiana Jones budget when it was like Indiana Jones is one of the most expensive movies ever to make, and you're like, what? What kind of money laundering thing they got going on over there? Like, that's what I want to know. Unless there's like some kind of deals under the table, with these foreign countries where they're like, yeah, we'll let you build a Disney World here. Just film some, movies, and we'll do this and we'll do that. And I don't know that.
Well, they're already getting the benefit from the UK here, right? Like they're also doing Doomsday. So we will eventually at some point in time find out how much it costs because they're doing it in the UK because they obviously get big benefits from doing it.
But what about the Trump tariffs that are going to be kicking in too?
We'll see how those actually play out, man. We'll see how those actually play out. I don't even I have my doubts as to whether we'll see those enacted in the way that they're being said. You know what I mean? I really have a tough time.
I hear you, but if they are, when does that take effect?
Especially for things that are already in production when they go into effect and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when is that? Well, then it makes you wonder how much they spend it on Mandalorian and Grogu, if they're just like, if they're like hoping. And then we already know because you caught them with the Paul and Peter numbers, where it's like, well, we made money on streaming, which they just sold it to themselves.
We sold the rights to streaming to ourselves. So we took the money from here and we put it here, and that's why this movie made money, but it's why the company lost money. Like that's like what their arguments are always attempted to be. I think the bigger thing here, not only is the budget out of control, but how easy it is for them to lie through their fucking teeth to everyone. They told us that this movie's production budget was $200 million. And it turns out that it was about 2.5 times that. That's a big fucking difference.
They don't like revealing those numbers, do they, man? They don't want people to know. Like I said, like even going back to the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, it was like those numbers were so. I followed that a little more closely. They were all over the place. They went from 180 to 350 to 400 back to 250. And then they're like, well, we didn't factor in this. They didn't add this in. It's like, what's the truth, And we've seen that too. These sites would promote stuff like for Disney and just be like, yeah, well, the budget's only 180. Even though like in Variety, it says, no, it's 300, like different movies and stuff. It's hard to say. Now they're not going to report any like numbers anymore, like viewership numbers on their stream. They just don't want people to know that nobody likes their stuff.
Yeah, and then when it comes to Andor, at least I guess you can say for Andor, it's not like they fucking were lying to people about what it was. Like they so clearly did with Deadpool and Wolverine. We knew it was expensive, but now we know just how expensive. Andor. They have spent $700 million on 2 seasons of Andor, which is more than any fucking movie that they've made.
$350 a season?
$705 million so far. And I don't think they're done either, because that's a number that came out before, like 3 months before the final season aired. So there probably is more editing and effects stuff and work that went into that in all likelihood. So it's probably going to jump up a little bit more. Not anything crazy, not like $100 million, but they're probably not done. That's a lot of fucking money.
That thing didn't even come out in the theaters.
No. Now, I guess one thing you can say is, Force Awakens is a 2-hour movie. Andor is 16 or 17 hours or something of content, if you want to look at it that way. But still, bro, you just cannot do it. And it would have been one thing. Look, we can look at Andor and we can say that was more positively received by some people than a lot of other of their streaming shows. However, it wasn't watched by very many people. So it's not, you can't fucking justify spending that amount of money on something that doesn't have the interest level. How are you ever going to recoup that type of fucking money if you spend it on streaming on a platform that's dog shit like Disney Plus? It's insane. No, I can guarantee you, All's Fair, which is a terrible fucking show on Hulu, that Kim Kardashian show that's getting a second season. How much can that thing cost? Probably like 50 or 60 million dollars for that fucking trash. And that gets way better returns for them than something like this. It's
Well,
700
does,
million.
does Hulu run ads? Like, is there a tier that if you pay less, does it like run ads?
Yeah, just like everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So they actually make money on that at Andor. There's nothing, dude. Like, how the heck ain't no one going out there buying the Andor toys or Andor shirts or anything like that to at least help? You know, you're not buying it on DVD or Blu-ray.
Well, I know it's shocking that the communists that really, really love the show don't have very much money. So I don't.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, you're absolutely right. It's like, how do they make money off this? Their hope was people would buy the subscription service, right? Like, that was their hope, that they will put good stuff on the Disney Plus channel and they will turn into Netflix, which is the furthest thing that's happening.
Like the type of show that Andor is, that should be a budget of like fucking $80 million. You know what I mean? When it's not going to have the mass appeal, when it's not going to be able to really break through, when it's going to be a little bit of a fucking slow burn and shit, like that should be for a streaming platform, like an $80 million budget. This is 10 times that.
Well, that's the thing though. But what did they do with the show they took off Disney? Like, why did they take that off? Because it just was so bad. Willow. Why was that just completely nuked off Disney Plus? They spent, according to them, I remember it was like $110 million on that season 1 of the new Willow show. And then they decided that it wasn't even worth their time putting the show or keeping it. Like, the show's already made. It's already done. But you're like, it's so bad, we don't want it on our streaming service anymore.
You can get a tax write-off for certain things like that.
So it's better to get a tax write-off from a bomb show than to keep it on your streaming service, dude.
Yeah.
How embarrassing. Wicked deserved better.
Willow did? Oh, I didn't really care about the first one.
I said Wicked, like the actor. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even watch Willow. I just thought it was like a big gay fest. So I just kind of like let the other people that enjoy it.
It sucked.
So
it absolutely sucked.